The next day, Shion and his father decided to conduct more tests on magic. Gawain set up a campfire, which Shion hovered his hand over, covering his body with magical energy. However, he was instantly reminded that it was wrong to play with fire, as his hand began to burn. Gawain immediately poured water over him, quenching the fire before criticizing Shion for playing with fire, even though his irresponsible self set it up. When Marie asked if Shion was fine, the boy explained that he was, and he had learned some important things from the failed experiment. He explained that his magical energy had the ability to conduct fire, hence, he simply needed to be able to manipulate it. After his father dried his body, Shion continued to think about the process, and when he finally got a breakthrough, his ugly facial expression popped up, scaring his father, who wondered if he had birthed a monster. They continued the experiments a little longer, changing a few approaches like his dressing, before deciding to take a break. While Shion rested, he was visited by Rose, who wondered what he was doing. He explained his experiment and promised to show her once his father was back, as he wasn't allowed to burn himself without supervision. They decided to change the topic, with Shion thanking Rose for calming him down after he defeated the goblin. When Rose asked Shion where Marie was, Shion replied that he didn't know, but he was sure she was somewhere training. After hearing what Marie was doing, Rose laughed, telling Shion it was their duty to support Marie in her endeavors. Meanwhile, in the backyard of the house, Marie continued to train, preparing for the next dangerous event so she wouldn't be as useless as the first time. Later that day, the family, without their mom, discussed the research they had done. Although Shion had successfully proven that magical energy could conduct fire, he was unable to sustain it, as the fire constantly hurt him. When he lamented about not being able to suspend magical energy above him like the fishes, Marie decided to shock Shion completely by showing him she could do it. As if the embarrassment wasn't enough, Rose suspended magical energy above her hand as well, hitting the nail on the head that Shion was very much talentless. After a few tips from the girls, Shion finally learned how to suspend magic, amazing himself, as it gave him a bright new idea. He took a tool in their world called a fire lighter, and started a small fire before releasing magical energy from his hand, causing it to release a flaming ball of fire, which flew into the air and dissipated. The group was astonished to see the beautiful ball of fire, including Gawain, who couldn't see any of the magic before. After successfully achieving one of his previous goals, Shion rejoiced, causing him to put back on his disgusting face, which appalled Gawain again. Over the next few days, Shion helped his community while also continuing his magical study. He thought it was all going well for the family, until one day, he saw Marie training with Gawain in the backyard. Although she was visibly exhausted, Marie refused to stop training, complaining about her weakness and possible threats to the family. After seeing his sister's stubbornness, Shion attempted to convince her otherwise. However, he was immediately shut down with a piercing stare. When she realized she had hurt Shion, Marie reluctantly left to rest. A few hours later, Shion and his father discussed further applications of magical energy. Shion asked Gawain about electricity. However, just like magic, it was a concept they hadn't realized in his new world. When Shion likened it to lightning, Gawain remembered hearing rumors about lightning that wasn't from the sky in one of his talks with Grast. They decided that they would go to Istria to get more information on it. Shion immediately ran over to Marie's room, asking her to join him on their trip to Istria. However, in a surprising twist, Marie rejected the offer, claiming she wanted to be alone at that moment. She wished Shion luck, then went back to what she was doing, furthering Shion's suspicions that there was something up with her. Later that day, Shion and Gawain visited Grast's shop, where he told them about lightning ore. Although it wasn't hard to find, Grast explained that it would be impossible for them to get it due to its dangerous nature. After thinking about it, Shion asked Grast if they had any isinglass, a mineral that had multiple layers that could be peeled off. When Grast confirmed that he did, Shion presented an idea where they'd use it to move the lightning ore. In his previous world, isinglass was used as an insulator, giving him an idea to use it in their predicament. When Grast doubted Shion's plan, Gawain assured him there was nothing to worry about, as Shion was way more knowledgeable than his tiny body let on. The next week, Shion and Gawain had procured a lightning ore, setting it up in their backyard. Shion was about to finally test lightning magic, and this time, his mother, Emma, would be there to watch him after recovering from her wounds. They wondered where Marie was, as she was usually there during his tests. When he got himself together, Shion began his test, placing magical energy on the lightning ore, which caused it to change from blue to red temporarily. While his mother felt disappointed and his father tried to console him, Shion showed his disgusting face once again, claiming it was a success, which pleased his mother and confused his father. Later that night, he continued to research magical energy and discovered that he could manipulate the shape and size of the ones he released. He went to Marie's room to tell her the good news. However, she was nowhere to be found, with only her bandages left on her bed. When he went to the pond that started his magical journey, he saw Marie continuing her training, forcing strength upon herself. After seeing Shion, Marie stopped training for a bit. Shion apologized for abandoning his sister so much due to his magical research and making it seem like he didn't care. After hearing Shion's apology, Marie smiled, claiming she was the one at fault due to her jealousy. She was cold because of her complete uselessness when the goblin appeared, and she felt utterly weak. When she fell on the ground in tears, Shion immediately hugged her, apologizing for being a weak ally as well, causing them to have a large emotional reaction, which caused magical energy to release over them, just like it did for the fishes. After the emotional drama with Shion, Marie became more attached than she was before, causing a lot of awkward moments. When the problem of his sister's attachment issues had finally gone, Shion continued his research as the magic maker, testing it in the front yard by changing its size, use with fire, and duration of its applicability. He was still completely useless with electricity. However, he had progressed from simply making red-colored sparks to red-colored large streaks of lightning. The girls who watched the process wondered why he couldn't get it to move like he did with fire, which Shion explained to be him simply conducting the electricity with his magic. Just then, Gawain appeared with Grast, who wanted to have a discussion with Shion. At the table, the family talked as Gawain presented the topic of lightning ore. He explained that Grast had foolishly used the knowledge he got from Shion to make a business from lightning ore, which was impossible for others to get. Grast had come to apologize for attempting to make a fortune off Shion's idea, which Shion didn't seem to care about, surprising Grast, who thought he'd be in for trouble. When Shion assured the blacksmith he had no issue with his dumb business, Gawain butted in, informing Shion there was more than one problem. He took the family to a storage room filled with lightning ores, which Grast explained was the result of his bad business idea. The first buyers were simply interested in the ore because of its unusual nature. However, after just 1 week of decent sales, they were no longer interested in the product. He begged Shion to help him think of a way to sell the ore, as he was getting complaints from the landlord about its weird noise, compromising his rent. After hearing Grast's problem, Shion agreed to help. However, he was completely lost for ideas at that moment. He then asked Grast why the lightning ores were spaced out, causing Grast to show him what happened otherwise. After seeing the spark that ignited from the ores being together, an idea popped into Shion's head. However, there was no light bulb to show that, as it didn't exist in their world. The next day, Shion and the family returned to Grast's workshop, where he presented a smelted version of the lightning ore, which didn't crackle like the others and was now touchable. When Shion picked it up barehanded, Marie was worried, panicking that it could possibly hurt him. However, it did not. When Shion put 2 of the metallized ores together, hoping for a spark, it had no reaction, crumbling Shion's plan. He received the smelting process from Grast and cooked up another idea. He went to the brick oven in the store, started a fire, confusing Grast, who couldn't believe what he had seen. After Shion told him it was magic, Grast was even more surprised by Shion. He watched Grast complete the process and saw the finished product, which, unlike the others, had a reaction when put with its fellow lightning ore. They proceeded to make multiple lightning ore metals over the next 3 days, solving Grast's issue. After completing the work, the family decided to return home, with Grast thanking them for all their help. Over the next few weeks, the lightning ore metal began to sell like hotcakes, as it was now popularly known as a lighter. The next day, Shion met up with Rose and Marie to conduct more magical tests. He wanted to check magical fire's reaction to oxygen absence, as a normal fire would naturally go out. The girls decided to place a bet on the result, with Marie winning since the fire didn't go out. They decided to try out another experiment with magical fire, hoping to break more ground in its use and weaknesses. Shion sent a fireball into the atmosphere before asking Marie to send her magical energy toward it. When Marie tried it out, the fireball exploded in their faces, causing Marie to blast back. After Shion rushed over to check up on her, he confirmed she was fine. When Rose asked if he knew the explosion would happen, Shion denied it, as he was perplexed as well. After analyzing the event, Shion realized what had happened and rushed over to the lightning ore in their front yard. He shot a large amount of magical energy at the ore, causing it to be redirected towards him like before. However, this time, it wasn't as intense. He once again laughed disgustingly, as he had made a major breakthrough. He likened magical energy to air, and had gotten one step closer to controlling electricity, as he had desired. The next week, Grast presented him with a special lightning ore glove he requested. After trying on the glove, Shion began to control fire and lightning at will, feeling like a low-budget firebender as he fired a large amount of lightning towards an empty field. Shion had successfully achieved his greatest dreams, which he had carried over from his previous world. Not able to control his emotions, the magic maker burst into tears, with Marie and Rose coming close to hug him. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.